What is going on, Spirit fan? This is Dutch Vinny. Come back to you all again. This is going to be Sag Moon Part 2. And so now that I'm in Ifa, I also learned that there are like other traditions within Ifa. Like there's Isheshe traditions and there's also Lukumi. And it's just like, oh, what the fuck? Maybe I was in Lukumi in a whole other past life. And I could see that because I'm in Ifa now. I'm in Isheshe now. Because I'm incarnated in a black person's body. But this is the thing about having the moon in this sign. So it's like I relate to other people outside of my own heritage easier, like much more easier than I can relate to people that are within my own heritage or that are within my own culture or my own bloodline. And it's like, whereas it's so easy for me to be outside, it's hard for me to be inside. And I always notice, like, damn, it's even harder to date my own people. It's harder to have conversations with my own people about certain topics, about certain things. It's just like, yo, why do I have certain blockages with my own people? And it's like, oh, I finally saw it. It finally hit me. I have the moon in Sag, like, and even at this new job that I'm working at, and I got to tell y'all something about this new job too. It's so deep. Numerology has showed me. It has showed me so much. I just love numerology, astrology. Like this is Sag things. Learning about philosophical, fucking spiritual. We learn like the deepest ethers of different sects of religions, and it's just like our mind is culminated with so many different things that we just cannot stay in one place. And that's why Sagittarius is a fire element, because it's constantly moving. Fire is an element that moves very quick. And so now that my moon is in fire, my moon being my home and everything that I know, it is now sped up. And so it's like now I'm at a frequency or vibration that is not like my, like I said, it's not like my bloodline. So like growing up, like I just never fit in with any of my people. Like my people were the ones that, it's like they ridiculed me most. They picked on me the most. It's like how you face the most trauma from your own people. All right, so me particularly, I really don't like labels. Like, but I'm in the box of like gay, bi, pan. Like I said, I don't like labels, so I don't really subscribe to any one of those particularly. But you know, in the black community, black people just see what they see and how they see it. And it's like, so growing up, like, I was always just ostracized. I was always the different one. I was always the eyeball. It was like, and even when I was young, I went to a predominantly white school when I first went to my first elementary school. So like when I finally did go to a predominantly black school, like they made me feel so out of place. Like I already felt mad out of place at this predominantly white school. Then I go to this predominantly black school where it's supposed to be my people. Even my mom was like, "Oh, my granddad said you need to take that boy out of that school. He need to get out of the white school. You need to take that boy out of that school. He need to be around these people. He need to be." As soon as I get there, why? Well, tell me why they doing the same shit the white kids was doing. The white kids, I felt like I was in a box there too. Like when I was at the white schools, which is like, yo, what the fuck? And now I get to the black school and y'all doing the same ass shit that they was doing. It's just like every man for himself. Like even if we are the same fucking complexion, every man for their fucking self. It's like y'all hate. It's like y'all. It was just this deep rooted hate, and I just never could understand that about us. It's like y'all just fuck. It's just like fucking crabs in a barrel. Um, but even coming from that predominantly white school, it's kind of like I was just, I guess even so, you could say I was a little polished too. It was like certain levels of expression I didn't exude because I was not, I guess, used to being around my own people now. So it's like, I don't even know how to explain that. Not even say that I was taking on white people characteristics, but because they didn't even fuck with me at the white school. So them motherfuckers, they couldn't stand me. They was snitching on me, but the white girls used to snitch on me for everything I did. I used to get in trouble at that school, like all the fucking time. I was so fucking so disobedient to those teachers, like, but I was still smart. Like we learned a lot, and I was like a very avid reader in the fucking, what was that, fucking first grade. Like I was a very good ass reader. Um, but yeah. And also the thing about the moon is that when you have the moon in the zodiac sign like Sagittarius, and in Sagittarius, Sagittarius deals with long distance travel. So this means that I was always on the go. Like I always switched homes, I always switched environments, I always switched schools. I went to three different elementary schools. You don't even ask me how many schools that my brothers and my sister went to. They went to so many fucking different schools. Then I left my hometown. I'm originally from Moultrie, Georgia. It's a very small city that's like 3 hours away from Atlanta. So I'm in Atlanta now, but growing up we was there, and so after we left Moultrie, we went to Miami, which is where I learned my Spanish at, in Miami, because it's a lot of Spanish people in Miami. It's every Spanish person that you could ever find in Miami: Colombian, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, Dominican, Cuban, Guatemalan, like every Ecuadorian, every one of them. And it was so many different like Caribbean black people, Jamaican, Haitian, and it was majority just like Haitian and Hispanic. Like when I went to Miami, that was the majority of the people there. But my brothers them they went to like multiple different elementaries too, because they went to the same three elementary schools. Well, they didn't go to the first elementary school that I went to, the predominantly white one. But they bounced around from like at least two elementary schools there in Moultrie. Then when we moved to Miami, they went to that elementary school, and then we left Miami and we came back to Georgia, and this time we moved to Atlanta. But I graduated by the time we moved back to Georgia, so I didn't have to go to another school then. So they went to a whole other school, and before we even got in Atlanta like fully, my mom let them stay with my grandma in Moultrie while we was trying to get a house and everything. So me and my mom was working, and my uncle came up here with us, and then we finally got a crib and everything, and then that's when they finally moved with us. But they stayed with my grandma from like the summertime all the way up until December. So it was just like she just let them stay in school then, and then so they went to school in Moultrie, and then they left school in Moultrie to go back to school over here. And then we wound up moving from the place that we was living in. I ain't even say where we was living at. We was living in the city here, and then we moved from that city, and then we moved to another city in Atlanta, and now they hit. So it's just like they just been brain fucked their whole life. So it's just like now they can't even. It's just like, yo, what's the point of even trying to make a friend when you go to school? And now my mom passed away, so now my sister, she has moved with her dad, and now she back in Miami. So my sister done been to Miami, to Moultrie, to Atlanta, and so many different schools in Atlanta. To now she back in fucking Miami, and now she back in another school. Now it's just like